Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's JKB Crochet. Please, if you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And thanks a lot guys for the 400 subscribers. I was really overwhelmed. Now for this tutorial, I'll be leading you through on how to achieve a checked beanie, headsock, call it. So for this tutorial, I'll be using a 6.5mm chunky yarn. I'll be using 3 colors. You can use any colors you wish to, but for my case I'll be using black, white, gray. We're going to start with the brim, with the headband, the band around the head. So you're going to go ahead and make a slip stitch. You insert your hook, then chain 1, slip knot, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, chain 5, chain 6, chain 7. You're going to go ahead and make 21 stitches. I'll meet you when you have the 21 stitches. And these are my 21 stitches. I'm using a 6.5mm hook so that the band can be stretchy. I wouldn't want to use a tiny hook, especially not with this chunky yarn. So go to the next stitch, exactly the next stitch, and insert your hook and make a single crochet. Go to the next loops, doing single crochets, the next stitches, just single crochets. Our band is going to be made of single crochets. I had first tried this out with half double crochets, then I realized, nah, I need a better ribbing for this. So imagine I had to repeat the whole tutorial. Anyway, let's continue. Let me meet you when you have one more stitch left, and I'll show you how we're going to end off the row. Now I have exactly 20 stitches, and for the next row we're going to chain 1, turn your work. We're going to make sure we work in the back loop, okay? Please work in the back loop. I know what I'm talking about. It creates a better seam than working into the stitch itself. This is what I call working into the stitch. Oh, it's black here and I forgot. This is what I call working into the stitch. And working on the back loop is this. Turn your work and go here. Oops. Go into this stitch. You see this V, but this other side. So place your single crochet. Go on placing a single crochet in each and every stitch until you're at the end there. I'll meet you when you have one more stitch to end of this row. Now I've reached the last stitch and I'll chain 1 after going into the last stitch. Please make sure there are exactly 20 stitches. No increase, no decrease, because the moment you do that, you'll realize your work is not net. You have to frag it. So chain 1, turn your work. Turn your work like this. Go to this next stitch. Turn your work. Continue placing a single crochet in the back loop. Make that a must. In the back loop. So go on placing a single crochet until you're at the end of this. Okay. So I've placed a last single crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. Now it's going to be the same repeat. What we've been doing for the previous rows, just placing single crochets in the back loop. We're going to continue with that until we have something big around to go around our head. So, but whatever number of rows you have, make sure it's a multiple of 8. I'll meet you when I'm about to finish and I tell you how many I'll be having. Well, you can speed up the video to see how many rows I did. Let me meet you there. Now I'm back with my band. This is the band that is going to be around our head. We shall be folding it to get the real size of the band. So I have a total of 65 rows. I remember telling you to get a multiple of 8. I beg your pardon. Get a multiple of 5. Okay? I stated that in the correction field. I hope you saw it. Well, this is mine, the one I want to go around my head, and I used the 6.5 mm for it, because you might use another hook and it turns out smaller. That's why I used. Okay, let me get the measurements using a tape and I show you without stretching it. It's around 18 inches. It's actually 18 inches sharp. 18 inches sharp. So when stretched, it's 25 inches. I've tried that one. So when unstretched, 18. So next we're going to join these two parts. We're going to create a seam here. You have to make sure they're the same stitches. The same stitches this side are the same stitches this other side. Okay. So go to the stitch itself here and the stitch opposite. This is black yarn. Make sure it's opposite, completely opposite, because the moment you don't make it opposite, you find one side is still lacking. Go to the next stitch, make a single crochet like you normally would. Go on, just if this is the 6th stitch, insert the 6th stitch into the 6th stitch opposite the 6th stitch the other side. So go on doing that until you're at the end. Let me meet you at the end of it. And I've reached my last stitch. I've joined my last stitch, and mind you, I'm using now a 4.5mm hook. I don't remember if I told you that, but that's what I'm using. Now our next step is to place a single crochet in each and every row, a single crochet. So go into the very next, first chain one, go into the very next stitch here, I mean row, you know, on top of the row, place a single crochet. This should be easy. Go to the next row, place a single crochet. Go to the next row, place a single crochet. This is easy, especially if you've used single crochets. It's not like you've used half double crochets where you have to put 2 in 1, 3, like that. So just a single crochet onto every row. Continue like that until you are done with the whole headband, I mean the whole of it. I'll meet you when you're done going around with single crochets. I'll meet you there. Now I've reached the end, and you remember that first chain one we did? That's where we're going to single slip stitch. There we are. Now this is a checked pattern. I'm sure you're aware of that. Now I'll be using white and gray and chunky both. I'm doubling this one because it's not really chunky, it's middle weight. So I'll be doubling it, medium weight, whatever. Now that we are done with that, we're going to chain 3, then I beg your pardon, chain 2, yarn over, go to the next stitch, and one more thing, make sure you're working on the part where there is this our seam. Okay, so continue, because when we fold like this, this will be our inside, I mean our out. Continue with 5 double crochets in the next stitches. 5 double crochets after you chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After chaining 5, yarn over, skip 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the 6th stitch, place a double crochet. This pattern doesn't involve what I've been seeing on most, because I had also tried out some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yarn over. In the 6th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, place 5 double crochets in the next stitches. I had tried to learn from my fellow YouTubers, but they were using, you know, that pattern of checked, but when you have to weave in some yarn and move with, oh, okay, I found that so stressful. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So go on like that. Okay, I'll meet you when you're almost at the end. Now here I am. I'm remaining with 5 more stitches to end of this row. So chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and just go on top of this very first stitch and slip stitch on top. There we are. That has been our first row. Now I said I'll be using 3 colors. My next color is, let me make it gray. Yeah, you can use any colors of your choice. Mine, if you want to follow my very pattern, you can go with gray as next. So we're going to attach like this. First make a slip stitch like that, slip knot and attach. Pull the black yarn down. If anything, make sure at least the black yarn is in front and the gray is behind. We are now working with gray, so drop black, go with gray. So next we're going to chain 2 more, so that makes it 3 for the double crochet. Now add 5 more, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over, go to the next space here. Hope I'm not so fast. Go to this next space and place a double crochet on top of each here in these stitches down. Make sure by the end of this space you have 5 double crochets, whatever the case. That's 3, yarn over, go into this space, that's 4, yarn over, go into the last one, and that is 5. See? Now chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over, go to the next here, to this next space. Now into the stitches, go down and just put a double crochet into the stitches, yarn over, go into this, place a double crochet. Sorry, this came out not so well. Go to the next, place a double crochet. So continue like that, placing double crochets on top of each of those 5 stitches down. Oh, my bad. Oh yeah, it's okay. So continue like that. You see, you can see how the checked is coming out. Yet I'm just on my second color, second row of the body. 5 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over, go straight to this side and do your double crochets, your 5 double crochets. Oops, chunky. I would prefer to use chunky while it's warm, the obvious, and it adds up fast. Chain 5 1 2 3 4 5. Remember, we've not yet started on white. Continue like that. I'll meet you here, this side, but continue with that pattern. Now I'm back here. I've placed my, hope you're not lost, please. I've placed my last bunch of 5 double crochets here. Now you remember here where we joined our yarn here. I'm back, and you go into the 3rd stitch, 1 2 3, the 3rd stitch and slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to start on our white. Don't get worried, oh my god, there are 6, don't worry, it will be all fine. So we're going to start on our white. So first put this behind, get the white. I said I'm doubling mine because of chunky reasons. I like white chunky. So the same way we joined the other one. Make a slip knot, attach, pull this down, the gray, pull it a bit firmer, and chain one. Okay, after touching it and you're sure it's tight, go straight to the work down here, go straight here down into these rows and place double crochets, you know, cause here above there is a chain 5, so like what we've been doing in the previous rows. Just go down, make sure you don't weave in any gray or black, the ones we've been using. You can weave in these other ends, these ones which are not long, which are not connected to the major yarn, but don't weave in the ones like gray, the likes of gray and black, the long ones. So continue with that. Oh, this gray is disturbing me, this major gray. Don't let it disturb you. So continue like that with the 5 double crochets. Those are 3 so far. 4. 4 and 5. Now that we have 3 strands we are using, make sure you're so careful not to weave in the major strands. You see what we have here? So chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over. Go to this next space here and into the downer stitches here. Place a double crochet on top of each, like what we've been doing in the past. One, 2, 3, 4, and there we are, 5. There we are. You see the checked is coming out. I was so impressed with this kind of pattern. Go to this next space, straight away go into the stitches. So you're going to continue with this until you're almost at the end, and I'll show you one more time how we, no, I'll show you 3 more times on each color. I mean once on each color. So continue like that, and I'll meet you when you're about to finish this row. Now I'm here with my white and I've already chained 5, so I'll go into the very first here, white, and slip stitch. After slip stitching, we're done with at least using each of the colors. Now our next is black. How do you know that? The color you check down here, the color that is so down, that is okay, the lowest, that's black, so definitely it's the next. That's also an easier way of knowing which color is up next. So just pull it like this up and just insert it here. First pull white a little tighter, there we go. So our next, we're going to chain 3, no, 2, then add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. Now yarn over, go to this, what we've been doing. Make sure you're not weaving white in, that would be dangerous. Go and place a double crochet in the next set of 5 in each stitch, like what we've been doing for the past rows. So this should be easy, it's explainable. So continue like that. Chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yarn over, turn your work, turn, do that. You're going to continue with this pattern. I'll show you again how to join, like when we reach the end here, the beginning rather. So let me first finish off this row and I'll come back again. Now we've reached here where we began from. Count off 3 chains, and in the 3rd stitch you're going to slip stitch 1 2 3. There, slip stitch. There, don't worry, our seam is going to be very neat, so no worries. Next, you're going to have to leave this black and pick up, what's the next? Definitely gray. So just pick it up from down, wherever it is, and attach it, to this. Make sure you tighten the black, just pull it down. Now chain 2 more. No, don't chain. Just go straight to the down with a double crochet in each stitch in that bunch of 5. Make sure you've not weaved in any yarn. We are good. So chain 5. And continue the usual. So that means I'm only remaining with only one time to show you how to end and begin the row, but it's the same. So those who have got it, you can go on and continue. I'll be letting you know how many rows I'll be doing, or you can even speed it up. You see, that's how it's coming out, very beautiful. So continue and I'll meet you at the end. I'm back and I've already chained my 5, so you go here on top of this and slip stitch. We are done with that. Now for the next row we're going to be dropping gray and going with what you check inside. White is the next, so pull white up first, pull gray down, pull white up, and chain 2 and chain 5 more, and over, go to this and right away start doing the double crochets in each stitch, on top of each stitch, sorry. Hope this is easy to follow. If you've not understood, you can as well rewind. That is 5, chain 5, and repeat the same steps as we've been doing. So I'll meet you with whatever rows I'll be having. You can as well speed this up to see how many rows I did. Let me meet you there. But don't forget our order of colors. I'm back with my hat and I have a total of 13 rows. I have 13 rows from the one we began from, that was black, to this black. I have 13 rows in total. Oh, and one thing, to end off the last row I've done, I just chained one and cut. You can see our seam. This is our seam here. You can't even easily recognize it. That's it. That's our seam. It looks so flawless. Then the inside, outside, the seam again. It's like this. It should be looking like this. Now, for these last two colors we left behind, we're going to just make a knot to fasten off. Just make a knot again. Okay, this should be enough to secure it after you cut. So we go to the right side. Now we're going to form out the beanie shape. So get your black yarn. I'll be using black yarn. Let me first do this. So get your black yarn. I have just this. I'm not using a darning needle like some people would. I don't even like using those needles. But if you can, well and good. So for my case, I'll be just going into this, the third stitch. Pull into the third stitch. Just pull it. Now we're going to start. Go to this third stitch here, white down. Don't go through the string, I mean the chains, but the double crochets. Then inside, go to the third stitch here, pull, then go to the third stitch here, just go into each and every third stitch of each row and pull through. Just that, no complicated stuff. Pull through. Then even here, the third stitch, that's the middle stitch anyway, pull through. So you're going to go on doing that into the third stitch. I didn't want to go through these chains here cause it won't look good. I tried it before, it wasn't looking good, so I was like, no way. Continue like that until you reach the place where you began from. Oops. Pull it if it's not enough, but make sure it doesn't get out of here. To this third stitch. Please, if you haven't yet subscribed, press the subscribe button. I will be so pleased with your subscription. Don't forget to share your work with me on my Instagram, that's JKB Crochets. I'll be so pleased to see your outcome. Continue like that. Yeah, we've reached the part where we began from here. So you're going to just go on and pull, just pull, make sure it's so tight and secure. After, just tie. Let me make a knot. Just make a knot again, just to secure it. There we are, after you cut. So as you can see, as you can see, our beanie is set. It's ready for wearing. What's this? It's very ready. It has formed out the shape we wanted for a beanie. And don't forget to fold this front part. Just fold it. You don't need to sew anything unless you really want to. And that's our beanie, friends. I hope you've liked this tutorial like the way I did. I have. Then for the pom-pom, if you want to attach a pom-pom, please go ahead and do so. And the next video is going to be of a pom-pom, how to make a pom-pom and how to attach it. Yeah, since I don't even have enough black yarn right now. So that's it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share. Thank you so much. Bye.